Coming down here to South Texas, it's kind of been a dream come true. I've known that places like this hold predators.
Given my prior experience working in predator hunting here in South Texas, as well as my background as a biologist, reading all the research that I can on both coyote and bobcat behavior, I was able to kind of help put all that together and hopefully increase our success a little bit anyway.
It's been pretty cool to fulfill that dream, as cliche as that sounds.
It's always such a great feeling when you've actually got there. All the anticipation, we're finally here. Fingers crossed.
My name's Will Cooper, born and raised Texas boy, originally from Fredericksburg, Texas. And this week, man, we're out here in South Texas chasing after some predators, coyotes, bobcats, anything that wants to show itself. As soon as we arrived out here, got through the gate, got up here to the lodge and everything, met the landowners, and they instantly pulled out a map for us, which was really nice because what that allowed us to do with HuntStand was actually go in, map out some key features, map out the boundaries, and then we took a tour with the ranch owner.
Getting ready to sight in the Springfield Waypoint 2020. Been traveling the last couple of days. We've finally arrived, but as all good hunters should do, we got to put this thing on paper and make sure it shoots. I bet it does. As a young biologist many years ago, I grew up in Texas mostly as a young man and went to undergrad here in the state of Texas and had the good fortune of working on some ranches down here in this same exact county, Webb County. And this is where I learned to predator hunt. And so it's really, I think, kind of a neat, kind of a coming home after 35 years. It's been a long time since I've spent some significant time down here in South Texas. A secret weapon that we're going to employ on this hunt and give it a try. I've never actually seen it been used before, so maybe we're going to start a new trend here. Is using a real rabbit as a decoy. And yes, you can make one at home. As you can tell, because it's not a particularly good taxidermy job, I made this. I've got about an hour and a half total in the whole project, so it's not a big amount of time. But I was able to go on a rabbit hunt recently with some friends with some beagles, shot this rabbit, skinned it, made a quick form out of some foam, put a little foam head in it, put some wire in there to hold the head up, wired its ears up and let him dry, tanned him with a little bit of quick tan. And bingo, you got a decoy. We'll see if it works.
I think when a lot of people hear the term predator, they may not necessarily know what all that means. Primarily, when you say the term predator, it's gonna be most of the time coyotes, gray fox, potentially even some red fox, bobcats, and then even in the area that we're in out here in South Texas, with this topography and just where we are, there's a probability that you could potentially see a mountain lion.
We just parked the truck to go check out another spot that Brian had marked earlier when we went around. And right when we get out, we heard a coyote howl, so we're actually gonna backtrack a little bit and see what we can do with this.
There's one down, baby.
Nice shooting, man.
As we were parking the truck, we heard one howling right back where we came from, but just didn't really have a good place to set up. So we found actually an old deer stand here. We thought, you know, it's really the only place we had to set up here. So you take advantage of what you're given. So we climbed up in the deer stand, set out our electronic collar, and this guy come trotting out pretty quick on us and doubled back. He saw the collar, I think, and turned back, and we weren't able to get good footage on that first run, but he snuck back out for a second look, and that was a bad mistake. The 6.5 Creedmoor did its job.
You grew up deer hunting. Well, deer hunting's for us at the time, you start in October and you're done pretty much middle of January. And so between sports and school and everything else, we just keep ourselves out of trouble. We'd go chase after predators on the weekends.
So this is our first afternoon. We've had about 5 stands so far. We're able to pick up 1 coyote. We got 1 more to go. We got just a little bit of daylight left, so we're gonna give it 1 more shot, and then we're heading out this evening after dark and give it another try.
Thanks, man.
Off your knees with that gun. So the trip that we took here to South Texas to predator hunt really needs to be, I think, separated from managing coyotes or managing predators in general. We came down here on a hunt. We were fortunate enough to take a few animals, but a lot of hunters want to confuse predator hunting with predator management.
I got it done though. She's dialed in, but no, we decided to try and get one more sit in after Brian shot his, and sat down, and I don't know, 5 minutes later, saw a coyote, and then I put the crosshairs up there too. So we put them down. So I think we're getting it figured out.
That's exactly the same spot. I mean, it looks like we just drug my coyote over here, except the hole's not quite as big.
Males too.
Yep. It might have been a male and female pair. That looks like an older, more mature animal.
Got some cut ears. Look at that.
Yeah.
Cut on his ear.
It was almost his age hunting coyotes down here. It's where I shot my first ever coyotes. Were down
Really?
here in this county 34 years ago.
Webb County.
Webb County.
Quintessential South Texas, man.
Yep.
And after a while,
I know I'm about to have to do that. Sweet.
Yeah, predator hunting is a lot of fun, and you can distinguish it from predator management in a couple important ways. Coyotes are a great species to chase and harvest because you don't have to keep track of your harvest. They're completely sustainable. You can't run out of them. There's plenty of coyotes out there. Just because you kill a coyote doesn't necessarily mean you're going to help manage the game species that you may be trying to increase recruitment for. Removing coyotes from the landscape, their vacant territories are almost instantly filled back in by these transient animals that are seeking their own territories and breeding opportunities.
It's first morning, and we've got some good cloud cover, and so we're gonna hop in the truck here in a second, and we've got some ridges that we went and checked out with the landowner yesterday. We've got really good vantage points, glassing knobs, and so we're gonna go head up there, call for a little bit, see if we can get a couple of these coyotes or maybe a cat to come out and see what happens. We got up here on this ridge this morning, and wind's just howling. Just didn't see anything this morning. So a spot that we thought was gonna be really productive just ended up not producing for us. So we're gonna go check out a couple other spots that we had marked on HuntStand and see if we can drum something up. All right, so last evening we are heading out. We're gonna follow a couple of the road lines that we traced. We're gonna give our best shot tonight and see what we can drum up and see if we can get any coyotes or cats to play.
And I shared the fact that we used the habitat characteristics based on the landowner's prior observations to narrow down where on the property we hunted. Then we used good old-fashioned hunting tactics and a little bit of biology to determine where we wanted to set up. All right, so we got our last set for the evening. We got a great spot we saw earlier this morning. We got a kind of a three-way intersection. Have a chance to bring them in from 3 different places right next to this major drainage that's been holding all the coyotes so far this week. So anyway, fingers crossed, I think we're gonna have a good night.
We get in there, put the collar out, put a little Petey, little Mr. Peter Cottontail, seeing if he could bring in the magic for us, and it actually worked. Put the collar out there, and I think maybe 5 minutes went by, and I actually was looking out Brian's window, and I just caught movement of a cat.
To the right, like 20 yards, she's gonna come this way. It's a big cat. Where is it? It was in the cactus right here.
Brian's sitting right there, man. Good job.
I haven't shot a bobcat in
That's awesome, man.
years.
Well done. Our plan worked.
Yes, it did, man. That's one of the reasons why you get a gun like this, a platform like the Springfield St. Victor, makes it where you can be a little bit more maneuverable in tight situations, and there's the results.
Again, use all you can. Hunting experience, talk to knowledgeable hunters, talk to biologists, read up on it. The more you know about your game and the more flexible you can be on the fly, the more successful you're going to be.